In the intricate world of captive wildlife, the well-being of big cats, especially lions and tigers, has become a subject of intense study and debate. Both species are iconic symbols of power and grace in the wild. Yet when confined to the structured environments of zoos or wildlife sanctuaries, their natural behaviors, emotional responses, and overall quality of life can be dramatically altered. One key area of interest is how each species copes with the stress of captivity, and whether one is more prone to stress than the other. By examining their natural habitats, inherent behavioral traits, and the conditions typically found in modern zoos, we can gain valuable insight into the challenges of adapting to life in captivity for these magnificent creatures. Tigers, known for their solitary nature and secretive habits in the dense forests and jungles of Asia, thrive in environments where privacy, quiet, and ample space to roam are the norms. In the wild, a tiger's territory is expansive, often covering vast areas that provide not only abundant prey but also a refuge from potential threats. This environment allows tigers to engage in behaviors such as stealthy stalking, solitary hunting, and unobtrusive movement through thick vegetation. However, when tigers are placed in a zoo, they often face environments that are significantly smaller and more public than what they would naturally choose. The confinement can result in a number of stressors. Tigers are highly sensitive to noise, sudden movements, and the constant presence of visitors. The high level of activity around their enclosures, from the chatter of crowds to the hum of urban life, can create an environment that is overstimulating. The lack of privacy means that tigers have little opportunity to retreat to a quiet corner, leading to chronic stress that manifests in various behavioral abnormalities. Some tigers may pace repetitively along the confines of their enclosures, a behavior known as stereotypy, which is often a clear indicator of stress and frustration. Other signs include overgrooming, excessive hiding, or even self-injurious behaviors that are not observed in wild populations. In contrast, lions are naturally social animals. In the wild, they live in prides, tight-knit groups that require cooperation, shared responsibilities, and constant social interaction. This social structure has shaped the lion's behavior, making it more accustomed to living in close proximity with others. When placed in a zoo environment, lions often adapt more readily to the presence of humans and other animals. Their enclosures, while still artificial compared to the open savanna, are designed to mimic aspects of their natural habitat, with open spaces for lounging and areas for social interaction. Because lions are used to the dynamics of a group, they can sometimes exhibit less stress when in a zoo compared to their solitary cousins. In fact, the social bonds formed among pride members in captivity can be a source of comfort and stability, helping to mitigate the anxiety caused by confinement. However, this is not to say that lions are free from stress in captivity. Conflicts can arise within prides, and overcrowded or poorly managed enclosures may lead to tension, aggression, or even depression. The key difference, though, is that lions have a built-in support system that can help alleviate some of the stress, whereas tigers, who are solitary by nature, may struggle significantly without a way to express their natural instincts for seclusion and independence. The environmental design of zoo enclosures plays a crucial role in the well-being of these big cats. For tigers, providing an environment that simulates the dense, quiet, and expansive habitat of the jungle is essential. This means having large, secluded areas with plenty of cover, thick vegetation, water features, and quiet corners where a tiger can retreat from the noise and activity of the outside world. Enrichment activities that allow for solitary exploration and mimic natural hunting behaviors can help reduce stress by engaging the tiger's mind and body. On the other hand, lion enclosures are often designed to accommodate the social structure of the pride, with communal spaces that encourage interaction. While this can be beneficial, it also requires careful management to prevent overcrowding and conflict. In both cases, the well-being of these animals hinges on how well their natural behaviors are accommodated in a captive setting. Stress is not simply a byproduct of confinement, it is also a reflection of the degree to which an animal's natural needs are met. Another important factor to consider is the effect of constant exposure to visitors and human activity on these big cats. In many zoos, the presence of large crowds can be a significant source of stress. particularly for species that are sensitive to sound and movement. Tigers, with their keen senses and preference for solitude, may be especially vulnerable to the sensory overload of a busy zoo. Their enclosures may become stages for intrusive human activity, making it difficult for them to find the peace and quiet that they instinctively seek. Over time, this can lead to a decrease in overall health, increased susceptibility to disease, and behavioral issues that further compromise their quality of life. Lions, while also affected by the presence of visitors, often have a more tolerant attitude towards the public, especially if they are raised in an environment where human interaction is a regular occurrence. Still, even lions can become agitated or stressed if their space is insufficient or if the social dynamics within the pride are disrupted by external factors. Scientific studies on zoo animal welfare have shown that stress in captive environments can be measured through a variety of indicators, including hormonal changes, altered behavior patterns, and physical signs of stress such as pacing or self-harm. Researchers have found that, in many cases, tigers exhibit higher levels of stress hormones compared to lions when housed in similar conditions. This suggests that the solitary nature of the tiger, combined with its sensitivity to environmental disturbances, makes it more prone to stress in captivity. Furthermore, the stress-related behaviors observed in tigers can have long-term negative impacts on their overall health and lifespan. Chronic stress has been linked to immune system suppression, making animals more susceptible to illness, and can even shorten their lifespan by increasing the risk of stress-related diseases. In contrast, the communal lifestyle of lions, when managed appropriately, can offer a buffer against the stressors of captivity. When lions are housed in environments that allow for natural social interactions, they often display more typical, healthy behaviors and are less likely to engage in stereotypic actions. That said, lions are not immune to stress. Conflicts within prides, particularly over hierarchy or resources, can lead to aggressive behavior and injury. The challenge for zoos and wildlife sanctuaries is to create enclosures that balance the need for space, privacy, and social interaction in ways that cater to the unique requirements of each species. There are also documented cases where individual big cats have shown remarkable resilience in captivity, overcoming stress to exhibit behaviors that are surprisingly close to their wild counterparts. Some tigers have adapted well when given sufficiently large and enriched environments, displaying behaviors that include natural stalking, play, and even signs of relaxation. However, such cases are the exception rather than the rule, and they underscore the importance of proper enclosure design, environmental enrichment, and minimal human interference. In contrast, many zoos have reported that lions, particularly those that are part of well-managed prides, tend to have lower stress levels and better overall health compared to solitary tigers kept in smaller, less stimulating environments. Unusual behaviors in big cats under stress have been well documented in both lions and tigers. Tigers may exhibit excessive pacing, repetitive motions, or over-grooming, behaviors that are often interpreted as signs of chronic stress. In some cases, stressed tigers might become overly aggressive or, conversely, withdrawn and lethargic. These behaviors are a clear signal that the animal is not fully thriving in its environment and are often used by animal welfare experts as indicators of the need for environmental improvements. Lions, while generally more tolerant of social interaction, can also show signs of distress. Disruptions in the social structure, such as the loss of a dominant member or overcrowding, can lead to increased aggression, anxiety, and even self-harm. In both species, the manifestation of stress can compromise not only their quality of life but also their natural behaviors, leading to a cycle where stress begets further behavioral issues. The ability of zookeepers and wildlife managers to mitigate these stressors is a critical aspect of modern animal welfare. For tigers, this might mean designing enclosures that provide ample space, natural vegetation, water features, and secluded areas where the animal can retreat from the noise and activity of visitors. Enrichment programs that stimulate natural hunting behaviors, such as hiding food or introducing puzzle feeders, can also help reduce boredom and promote psychological well-being. For lions, efforts are often focused on ensuring that the pride has enough space to interact naturally. With enclosures that mimic the open, expansive landscapes of the savanna while still providing areas for privacy and rest. Both species benefit from a careful balance between exposure to natural stimuli and protection from overwhelming stressors. The overall impact of stress on the longevity and reproductive success of big cats in captivity cannot be overstated. Chronic stress can shorten an animal's lifespan by weakening its immune system, reducing its ability to recover from injuries, and causing a host of metabolic and behavioral problems. Over time, the cumulative effects of stress can lead to a decline in physical condition and even affect the animal's ability to reproduce successfully, a critical consideration for conservation programs and breeding initiatives aimed at preserving these majestic species. When comparing the stress levels of lions and tigers in captivity, it becomes clear that the tiger's natural predisposition for solitude and quiet makes it more vulnerable to the adverse effects of a captive environment that does not adequately mimic its natural habitat. Lions, with their built-in social support system, may be better equipped to handle the constant presence of humans and the inevitable disturbances of zoo life, provided that their social dynamics are managed with care. However, even lions are not entirely free from the stresses of captivity, and both species require environments that cater to their specific needs to ensure they live healthy, enriched lives. In conclusion, while both lions and tigers face significant challenges in captivity, evidence suggests that tigers are more prone to stress due to their solitary nature and sensitivity to environmental disturbances. Their need for expansive, quiet territories contrasts sharply with the often crowded and noisy conditions found in many zoos, which can lead to increased behavioral problems and diminished health. Lions, with their inherently social lifestyle, may adapt more readily to a captive environment that allows them to maintain natural social interactions, although they too require carefully designed spaces to thrive. The unusual and sometimes alarming behaviors exhibited by big cats under stress serve as powerful reminders of the importance of proper animal welfare practices and the need to continually refine the ways in which we care for these majestic creatures. Ultimately, understanding and mitigating stress in captivity not only improves the lives of individual animals but also plays a crucial role in the broader efforts to conserve and protect these irreplaceable symbols of the wild.